Call to order. This is the Coeur d'Alene Airport Advisory Board meeting for July 9th, 2025. Doing a roll call of the airport board. I've got everybody present at this point, other than Pat Halloran. And I don't know. I haven't heard from him. I didn't know if he's coming or not. So Phyllis Markham's absent for now. And I would ask everybody to go ahead and silence your cell phones. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3, call for conflicts of interest. Anybody on the board have anything to report? Hearing none, we'll move to item 4, changes to the agenda. I do have one. We were missing the first public comment on this agenda that skipped a couple of meetings ago. So it normally goes between 4 and 5. So with that, I will open it for public comment. If anybody has any comment, I appreciate it. Step forward, speak to the microphone here so that Carrie will hear it clearly for purposes of recording the minutes. Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to approve minutes of the previous meeting from June 11th, 2025. I hear a motion to approve.
Move to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor of approving the minutes of the previous meeting, say aye.
Aye.
That's by acclamation. Moving on to item 6, staff reports and updates. Item A, Corey, you're on for engineering updates.
Okay. Corey Stickford with Ardura. I'm just going to go through with the things that have changed from last time. So the runway rehab and taxiway V4 project, nothing has changed. We're still waiting for the aegis survey, which is tied to the next item, the taxiway C extension to runway 6 and the Mauser relocation project. That project finished right on time. Actually, we had a great contractor and the airport was really, really good in working together. I think even the whole team, it was a good, positive end of the project. Those guys worked their butts off. They worked Sundays and 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. So anyway, they got it open right before the air show, thank goodness. So, and it's a very, very good product. We still have a couple punch list things that need to be done in a month, and they have to restripe. Basically, you put initial markings down, and then a month later you come back and restripe, and then we have to put grooving at the end of the runway. At the end of July is what we're targeting. Around the 28th, we will see how the fire season goes, and if we want to postpone them further on, if it's turning into a bad fire year. So let's see here. Yeah, so there's just basically 2 calendar days of runway closures to finish that marking and do that grooving work. So, and then as far as for final things for us to do, we just have to do the as-built drawings, update the ALP, update the 5010 form, which has already been submitted. So you guys will get your approach plates updated with that new taxiway, and then deleting the other taxiway. And then the final engineer's report to close that project out. I think we're looking pretty good on budget too, which is, it's always kind of hard to know, you know, when you're doing earthwork and sometimes you find things. I think it's, right now it's looking like we're really close to the original budget. So our rescue equipment project, we are still on hold on that one for a little bit. The taxiway alpha, so we are doing a preliminary design for redo of the taxiway alpha. The geotech did some discovery to see if we can do like a crowds approach, which is instead of reconstructing all of the materials down below, we would take off the asphalt and mix it with concrete and then repave over the top, kind of like they do on local roads, instead of, which is a quicker approach and less expensive. the Geotech is approving that. So I think we need to still meet with the FAA over the next month, but I think we're gonna move with that approach, which would be a more cost-effective way to get a new paved surface over there. And then it's looking like the funding is gonna come in for actual construction. We've been with the FAA, it's a big pot of money that they have to be able to put in to help fund that. And it's looking like it's going in 26 instead of 27. Originally, they've been telling us 27. It sounds like there's been some projects in the state that are moving around, and the airport is probably going to be slated for 26 to get that done. So let's see here. So we'll start working through the final design and construction to get that bid for next, probably around next March, so we can be ready for next summer's construction to get that reconstructed, which is good because it's really not in very good shape right now. Turf landing area, that was still on hold. The next one is an ITD grant. Gaston was notified that ITD is doing 100% funding of 2 projects for the airport. One would be the redoing the PAPIs, which were installed in like 98-ish on 24, 20, and 2, and changing them out to be LED PAPIs. And then also to relight runway 220 with LED lights there, and those were installed in probably 93 or 94, so they're very old, and it would just the system being reliable, pulling all the cable out, putting new transformers in, and LED lights would lower the cost of their Vista bill, plus it would, new equipment, reliable. They say it shouldn't last, I think it's over 20 years, and it's certainly over 20 years at this point. So. Anyway, so we're going to be starting to work on a scope review for that, and I think the airport will get their, they should be receiving their grant, I think, soon, so from the state, and we'll start to work on that. And that is all I have.
The FAA is going to take over the package, and you just want to give us an update.
Yeah. Couple of questions on the firefighting truck. Do we have any idea how long it's gonna take the FAA to come back and approve that index B to get that?
That's what we're working right now. So we're working with a few of our big operators that bring in a lot of the 121 charters, like the Allegiance, Empire, JSX, different companies like that, to get justification letters from them to basically increase from an index A to index B, or maintain index B equipment. So as far as FAA CERT branch, they've approved it. Everyone has approved it. They just want to put those letters of support in with the package just to make the deal. So if we get those submitted, over the next month or so, we're hoping to get a spec out and go to bid on that this fall on the truck. So both Rosenbauer and Oshkosh, the 2 big manufacturers of ARF units, they're actually getting them out in about 8 to 12 months now. So those used to be about 24 months out for a new truck. So that'll be nice.
So any amount of work this time next year, we'll have one.
Possibly. That would be best case scenario. It would be summer of next year.
And on the turf landing area, I know one of the bugaboos on that with the FAA was, it was half inside the safety area.
Right. That's we're in communication with them, scheduling the meeting, getting that whole group back together, and essentially nailing them down to make a decision. That's what we're still waiting for them to tell us what they want to call it or how they want to designate it, and then we can construct it. So we're ready to do it. Partner is ready to finish design on it. We just need them to tell us how they want to classify it, how they want it shown on the ALP and everything. So it's just getting that from the FAA.
All right, thank you, Corey. Moving on, update from the airport director.
Absolutely. I'll kind of dovetail off on the ITD grant. So that is a state grant that's going to replace the PAPIs and the runway 220 lighting and infrastructure. We were the second highest award in the state, so that's pretty cool. We were the second highest value award, I guess. So I think it's roughly $560,000 we were awarded on that. So definitely a lot of state support. That's 100% grant. We don't have to come forward with any match funds on it, which is really nice. So it not only includes the lights, but it's all new conductor, transformers in the ground, everything. Rehabbing the current cans that are in the ground, they'll drill them out, make sure they're draining water and all that stuff. So essentially rehabbing all of the lighting for 2 and 2.0 and those approach lights, which it costs a lot of staff time and maintenance, keeping those things up and running. They're getting pretty tired now. So it'll be nice having those be LED. Yeah, Taxiway Charlie went fantastic. It's going to be a little confusing at first if you're checking our NOTAMs. Basically, until the project is complete, actually stamped complete, they can't update the charts and their survey that shows that that's actually Charlie and not Foxtrot now. So the whole Foxtrot corridor is signed as Charlie. And then also with Delta, the Delta connector being deleted, there's a couple NOTAMs in there that just basically say the signs are non-standard, the paint's non-standard until that's actually changed in the system. Officially, it'll show that. We'll get those deleted, but a little bit of confusion. Everyone's looking at their Garmin in the airplane and it's saying turn left on Foxtrot. The tower's saying go to Charlie, and they're like, we don't see a Charlie. So it'll be a few weeks of that, but hopefully we get that set up pretty quick here. But all in all, great product. As Corey said, they'll come back in, do the final application of paint and freshen everything up, make sure everything's good to go and finished with it. A quick report on the air show. It was, in my opinion, it went very well for a first event for bringing the air show back to the area. I think it was estimated over 5,000 people were there, possibly close to 6,000 people. It was pretty well received. I mean, it is growing pains. I mean, there were, some different things about vendors, like why weren't there more food vendors, or why weren't there more vendors selling things, or, different things like that. But it was kind of hard to bring in 10 food trucks if only 500 people showed up. So now the event's kind of proven. Obviously 5,000 people or more are going to show up to it. So you can easily plan for that now. You can bring in more food vendors. You can have more time to plan for the show. This show was planned in only 3 months. So to find the level of performers that we actually received was pretty lucky. One of the comments that were made is, why was there so much time between the performances themselves? And that was mostly related to, we just happened to get that list of performers and they were all ground starts. So all of them have to they take off, do their routine, land, taxi back before the next one can start. Typically you try and mix your air starts and ground starts. So you'd launch 2 of them. One guy would go out and just do circles and Athol while one performer was going. And as he lands, the next one comes right in and starts the next one. There's not so big of an intermission between performances. So all things to improve on next year. And I heard they're already in the planning mode for next year's event. So now there's a full 12 months. They can really handpick which performers they want. A lot more military participation. When you plan 12 months out, now you can get the demo teams involved. You can actually get that military side of it. You could easily double the size of the actual show, the performance side of it. So only good things to come. All of our staff was fantastic. The Coeur d'Alene Aviation staff was fantastic. The participation from Northern Lakes Fire to help us with the standby. We only have our 1 ARF truck, and it requires, for even a show of that size, we had to have 3 apparatus fully staffed on standby out on the line to respond to anything in the air show box. So they really pulled through and supplied us with 3 crews for different engines and stuff. So as far as the rescue side, but all in all, it was great. Only to be better next year.
How was Kurt on the deal? He was a little sour when he came in the last time before the
He's
show.
definitely good. Yeah, that was a larger turnout than he was saying. Even I think the day before the event, there was almost 1,500, if not 2,000 tickets sold, like right before. One thing I think had a lot to do with that, it really hit mainstream media. The news really started to hit it with KXLY, KHQ, and it hit like North Idaho News, like the Gen Pop Facebook pages. All those advertisements went out, and it just was like, oh, there's an air show this weekend.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were saying that, like, we had no idea. We would have, we wish we would have known earlier we would be there. So I don't think it's unrealistic to think we could have another 2,000 or 3,000 people there with.
I think getting the date out as early as possible, because people are booking their summer out. And
Well, that with the performers, that's huge. They have to pick that date like now to start booking those performers for next year. They're already feeling, most of those guys have their 2026 schedule full, so.
But, you know, families put it on their schedule.
Absolutely.
Because 2 months out,
You're going somewhere
the
already.
weekends are all get booked.
Yep.
So,
Now, is Kurt going to want to maintain the same model next year? That is, it's his air show he's sponsoring.
I believe so, that, he'll be the operator of it. But now that it's proven how many, what the audience looks like coming in, there's a lot more sponsors involved that actually want to get involved, different things like Kootenai Health and, Super One, just all these guys are like, wow, you have 5,000 people coming there. That's different. Now we can actually come on as a sponsor. So, yeah, only going to grow. Yeah. As far as the airport goes, other than wrapping up those projects, I mean, obviously we're kind of in full fire season, full swing now. So just supporting their operations, making sure they can operate, park, do all the things. A lot of the west ramp is taken up by the fire service right now. So just kind of our staff's working in full support with those guys and normal maintenance, mowing and painting and everything else going for the next couple of months here. So that's all I have as far as a general update. Can answer any questions.
The question I just commented, the air show was great. It was a nice day with my family. And, the food truck thing might have been the only thing that was the little fly in the ointment, right?
Yep.
Because there were like long lines. That's the only complaint that I heard out of the crowd. And my wife was wise enough to pack us all lunch, so we were taken care of. Unfortunately, but the nice thing about it was just that it was accessible, and you really could get up to the fence and see those planes, and so it wasn't so crowded that you were just stacked in a crowd.
Right.
It was just a nice day out in the community. I think it opened a lot of eyes about the airport. I don't think it's just all airport people there by any means.
Oh, absolutely.
And who wouldn't love seeing a Corsair just fly by? That was pretty fantastic.
Definitely.
So great job all involved.
Absolutely. Thank you. I think one of the big things that really helped too with the spectators was when Kirk got up and actually did his speech, like, hey, we realize, this is a huge crowd. It's only going to get better from here. I think people kind of like, okay, it wasn't like, we don't care that there's a 2-hour wait for hot dogs or whatever, they understood that they went a long way, that it's only going to get better. So.
Anybody else have questions for Justin? Move on. Item 7, Coeur d'Alene Airport Association update. Do I have anybody here from that group? Item 8, we have no new business for this meeting. Just wanted to, again, let people know to provide me with input on any agenda items they'd like to see for the next meeting by August 6th. You can either text me or you can send me an email. Appreciate if I have it, before August 6th, because then I have to sit down and make up the agenda, send it into the county, and get it sent out to everybody. But new ideas are always welcome. Anything you think we should be talking about, please feel free to provide me input. I'll move on to item 9, public comment.
I just got a comment. We now have a new permanent FAA administrator as of today, Brian Bedford. Congress approved his appointment, so I'm sure by now he's been sworn in and will be in the office tomorrow. So,
We know about
I know him, I've known him for years. I know him, we used to play street basketball together.
really.
When we were in our 20s, he is going to be fantastic.
Where's he from?
He's originally from the southeast, but I met him in California. But he's been up in Indianapolis. He's been the CEO of Republic Airways for 25 years. So, yeah, there was some stuff floating around about him, about him saying he had a commercial license when he didn't. And there's the other thing is there was opposition from the unions and stuff because he had proposed, being able to use advanced training credits to count toward the 1,500 hour ATP. So he had his detractors, but he's going to do fantastic.
That's good news.
Anyone else?
Right. I'd like to make a comment about the company that donated the Citation 10 to us for training. They donated some main gear for us and a windshield, so we'll have a completely enclosed movable trainer. 8-year-old Cessna trainer for the crew. We have to pay the freight from Florida. They're getting all
Are
packed.
you guys familiar with how we acquired this or how this airplane came to be here? It's already
No,
here.
it's already held.
It's already here, yeah. It basically showed up here on a charter out of Florida, ran through a hailstorm in Bozeman and like totaled the airplane by the time it got here. So the operator came in and stripped the usable stuff off it and asked us if we wanted it for an ARF trainer. We're like, absolutely, because it's all mostly there and it's pretty indicative of what we would handle here. So we have a 2018 Citation 10.
Wow. Sitting on the ground.
Those little crappy ATRs.
Say that.
47s up
We may need to look for a couple of
Yeah.
tires. I think I'm getting 2 rims for the main gear. We only really need 1 on each side. It's only like 10,000 pounds. But they're empty rims, so I'll be looking for a couple of used tires for Citation 10. If anybody has it laying around. They said they're pretty common size.
These are working at Walmart now. I said, once they're working at Walmart now.
Anyone else? That's it. Meeting's adjourned.